I shot my sister in the foot with Grandpa's old hunting rifle the night he died. Not because I hated her, God. No. Back then I loved her more than anyone, but because she laughed when the paramedics wheeled his body out, whispering that the old bastard finally croaked and left her the keys to the kingdom. It was the kind of laugh that echoes in your nightmares. Sharp and triumphant, like she'd won a bet against death itself. And me? I stood there in the foyer of our family's crumbling McMansion in Bethesda, Maryland, the rifle still smoking in my trembling hands, blood pooling on the Persian rug that cost more than my college tuition, while our mother screamed that I'd ruined everything. That was 6 months ago. And if you think that's the hook, wait until you hear what was inside the box he left me, the one sealed with wax and his spidery signature, labeled "Open Alone" in that meticulous script he used for his moonshine labels back in the Prohibition days he romanticized. But let's back up. Because revenge isn't born in a vacuum, it's fermented in the rot of family secrets. The kind that fester under manicured lawns and behind locked doors in places like this, where the American dream looks like a gated community, but smells like buried alibis. My name's Nova Hale, and I was 28 when Grandpa Elias passed, the black sheep of the Hale dynasty who'd clawed his way from Appalachian coal dust to D.C. Lobbying firms, amassing a fortune in backroom deals that greased more wheels than a NASCAR pit crew. We weren't old money, we were new money with old sins. The kind that get whispered about at country club brunches, but never investigated, because everyone's got dirt under their nails. Grandpa raised us after Dad split for a Vegas showgirl when I was 5, and Mom started popping Xanax like Tic Tacs. He doted on my sister, Lila, Golden Girl, Vassar grad, the one who could charm a senator into signing away his soul over martinis.
Me?
I was the fixer, the one who mopped up the messes, the quiet shadow who believed loyalty was a currency that never devalued. The reading of the will was a circus, held in the oak-paneled study of our family estate, the air thick with cigar smoke and the faint tang of bourbon from the decanter Grandpa kept polished like a trophy. Lila sat front and center, legs crossed in her pencil skirt, diamonds from her latest fiancé, some tech bro named Chad, glinting under the chandelier. Mom fidgeted with her pearls, eyes darting to Lila like she was the second coming. I slouched in the back, nursing a black coffee, still raw from the night before. The lawyer, a weaselly guy named Hargrove with a comb-over that screamed midlife crisis, cleared his throat and launched into the legalese. To Lila Hale, he intoned, I bequeath the sum of $20 million in trust for the continuation of the Hale legacy, to be administered at her discretion upon the founder's passing. Gasps rippled through the room. Cousins, aunts, the whole parasitic clan we'd flown in from as far as Palm Springs. Lila's smile was a shark's grin, all teeth and no warmth. She turned to me, eyes sparkling with that faux sisterly pity.
Oh,
Nova, sweetie, don't look so glum. You'll land on your feet. You always do. Hargrove paused, shuffling papers, and that's when he slid the envelope across the mahogany desk toward me. And to Nova Hale, my granddaughter, I leave this. It was a small wooden box, no bigger than a cigar humidor, bound in cracked leather. The words, "Open Alone," etched into the lid like a curse. No cash, no stocks, no beach house in the Keys. Just this relic, heavy in my lap as the room tittered and Mom patted Lila's knee. I felt the weight of it like a stone in my gut, the kind that sinks ships. I didn't open it that night. Too much chaos, cops to deal with from the shooting, self-defense. They ruled it. After Lila admitted she'd taunted me about Grandpa's delusions. Tears. Accusations hurled like confetti at a funeral wake. Instead, I drove to my studio apartment in Silver Spring, the kind of place with exposed brick and rent that ate half my graphic design freelance gigs. Cracked open a bottle of Grandpa's rye, stashed in my glove box for emergencies, and stared at the box on my kitchen table under the harsh fluorescence. What the hell was this? A joke? A final fuck you from the man who'd promised me the world when I was a kid, teaching me to fish in the Potomac while Lila prepped for cotillions? Dawn broke gray and unforgiving. The kind of DC winter light that makes you question if the sun's just phoning it in. I pried the seal with a butter knife, heart hammering like I'd defused a bomb. Inside, a stack of yellowed letters tied with twine, a USB drive etched with truth, and a single photo, me and Lila.
Kids.
Maybe 10 and 12, arms around each other at the family lake house, grins wide as the horizon. But taped to the back was a note in Grandpa's hand. Nova, you carried her sins long enough. Burn the bridges, or they'll bury you too. The letters were from the 90s, addressed to Grandpa from a woman named Evelyn Crow, some intern at his firm. Voice trembling on the page about the accident and the cover-up. My hands shook as I read. It detailed a hit-and-run on a rainy night in Georgetown, a drunk Lila behind the wheel of Grandpa's Cadillac, plowing into a delivery guy named Marcus Reed, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. Lila, 16 and invincible, panicked, called Grandpa instead of 911. He swooped in, paid off witnesses, framed it as a stolen car joyride by local thugs, and made me, 11 years old, impressionable as wet clay, swear I'd say I was the one driving if anyone asked. Protect your sister, he growled, his grip bruising my shoulders. Family first. Nova. Always. I'd done it. Lied to the cops. To Mom. To the ghost of that man who wheeled himself to court in a chair I bought him years later with my first paycheck. Out of guilt that gnawed like acid. Marcus Reed, his name echoed in my dreams. A litany of what-ifs. And Lila? She'd skated. Off to boarding school. Then college. Building her empire on the bones of my silence. Grandpa knew. All these years, he'd known. And this box was his absolution or my ammunition. Rage bloomed slow, a poison ivy vine twisting through my veins. Not hot fury, but cold, calculated, the kind that simmers in traffic jams on the Beltway or brews in dive bars off your street. I plugged in the USB. Files upon files. Bank records showing payoffs to Reed's family. Emails from Lila to Grandpa years later, thanking him for saving her ass again. Photos of her laughing at galas while I scraped by. The last file, a video, grainy camcorder footage of that night. Lila stumbling from the car, headlights glaring on rain-slicked bricks. Me running up, small and terrified, helping her wipe the grill clean of blood. Wait. No. The tool said no gore. But in memory, it's there. A smear-like accusation. I slammed the laptop shut, breath ragged. This wasn't just betrayal, it was a lifetime sentence I'd served for her freedom.
And now,
with Grandpa's empire handed to her on a silver platter, she'd erase me entirely. No more fixer. No more scapegoat. Time to flip the script. But revenge in America isn't a Western showdown. It's paperwork, leverage, and the slow grind of public opinion. I started small. Anonymous tips to old contacts, a PI buddy from my bartending days in Adams Morgan, a journalist ex from my short-lived journalism stint at GWU. Whispers about Hale family skeletons rippled through the Beltway blogs. The kind that gets shared in group chats at K Street firms. Lila noticed. Her text pinged. WTF Nova? You jealous or something? Call me. I ghosted her. Let the silence stretch like a noose. Weeks blurred into a haze of stakeouts and screen grabs. I tailed her to yoga in Georgetown, watched her brunch with Chad at Founding Farmers, her laughter tinkling like wind chimes over avocado toast. She was untouchable, or so she thought until the first leak hit. A blurry photo of the Cadillac's VIN in a Reddit thread. Hail Eris's daddy's car an old hit-run cover-up? Comments exploded. Rich bitch privilege. Screw the 1%. Mixed with fake news. Lip-dirred tears. It went viral. 50K upvotes by midnight. Lila called. Voice shrill. Nova. If this is you, you're dead to me. Mom's devastated.
Good.
Let her taste devastation. The counteroffensive came swift. Because Lila didn't rise to the top of DC's nonprofit scam circuit, laundering lobbying cash through women's empowerment galas by playing victim. She lawyered up overnight. Hargrove's firm issuing cease and desist letters to every outlet that touched the story, painting it as sour grapes from a disgruntled sibling with mental health issues. Mental health, code for the shooting, which they spun as my breakdown. By morning, my freelance clients dried up, emails bounced with unfortunate restructuring. Chad posted a shirtless Jim selfie captioned, standing by my queen hail strong, racking likes from influencers who'd ghosted me since college. I holed up in my apartment, blinds drawn against the paparazzi drones buzzing like hornets outside. The box sat on my shelf now. A talisman. Its contents copied to a burner drive hidden in a coffee can. Sleep came in fits, haunted by Marcus Reed's face, not from the video, but from the man I'd met years later, wheeling into a dive bar where I slung drinks, eyes hollow as he nursed a ginger ale. You look familiar, kid, he'd said, and I'd comped his tab every night after, a penance that bought me nothing but ulcers. Lila's next move was personal. She showed up unannounced. 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, banging on my door in Lululemon and oversized sunnies. Mom trailing like a nervous chihuahua in a cashmere wrap. Nova. Open up. We need to talk family. I cracked the door. Chain rattling. Her perfume hit like a wave. Chanel no. 5. Grandpa's favorite on Mom. What? Lila? Come to gloat about the 20 mil. Her lips pursed. That sorority pout.
This isn't you.
The leaks. The drama, it's beneath us. Grandpa would be ashamed. Mom whimpered. Please, baby, let's just pray.
Prayer.
As if rosaries could scrub blood from a fender. I unchained. Let them in. The apartment shrunk under their designer aura. My thrift store couch sagging like defeat. Lila paced, heels clicking on linoleum. I know about the box. Hargrove mentioned it, some sentimental crap. But this revenge bullshit? It's insane. I covered for you too. Remember? That weed in high school? I took the heat.
Lie.
She'd ratted me out to the principal for fun. Watched me get suspended while she got community service for advocacy. I laughed, bitter as black coffee. Covered? You mean the hit and run? Marcus Reed? Ring any bells. Sis. Her face drained, a porcelain mask cracking. Mom gasped, hand to throat.
Nova.
That's ancient history. Elias handled it. For all of us. For you, I spat. I lied for you. Swore I was driving. Carried that lie like a goddamn anchor while you jetted to Ibiza and networked with senators' wives. Lila's eyes narrowed, calculating. And look where it got you, free and clear. No record. No regrets. You're welcome. She stepped closer, voice dropping to that conspiratorial whisper she used on Marks. We can fix this. I'll cut you in 5 mil, tax-free. Walk away. Nova. Be the bigger person. The offer hung, tempting as sin. 5 million could buy a fresh start, Seattle. Maybe, with rain to drown the memories. But then I saw it, the flip, the schemer's tell. Her fingers twitching toward her phone, no doubt recording for leverage. Bigger person? I echoed. Like how you played the victim after I shot your foot. Told the cops I hallucinated your laugh over Grandpa's corpse. Mom sobbed now. Full ugly cry. He was gone. Nova. Heart attack in his sleep. You were hysterical. Hysterical. Code for inconvenient. Lila's mask slipped fully.
Fine.
You want war? I'll bury you. That box? Forgery bait. Grandpa was senile, Alzheimer's. Remember? Courts will laugh it out. She turned on her heel. Mom scurrying after, leaving a whiff of Chanel and ultimatum. War it was. I escalated. Dropped the video anonymously to a true crime podcastu out of Baltimore. Beltway Buried Secrets. It aired that Friday. Edited for drama, no gore. Just the rain. The stumble. My child voice pleading. Lila. What did we do? Downloads spiked. Twitter, X. Whatever, lit up with Hail Hit Run. Protesters outside our estate waving signs. Justice for Marcus. Versus. Fake video, deep fake. Lila countersued for defamation. But cracks showed. Chad bailed. Citing toxic vibes, his IG going private. Then the twist no one saw. Reed reached out. A email from riajustice@gmail.com. Heard the pod. It's her. Isn't it? Need to talk. We met at a neutral spot, a Waffle House off I-95. Fluorescent hell where hash browns scatter like buckshot. Marcus was older now. 50s. Salt and pepper beard. Chair humming softly as he wheeled to my booth. His eyes, same hollow stare, pinned me. You were just a kid. But you knew. I nodded. Throat tight. Grandpa made me. Said family sticks. He snorted, scattering sugar packets. Family. Mine scattered. Wife left.
Kids estranged.
That night cost me legs.
Dignity.
Everything but spite. He slid a napkin across. Scribbled a number. Lila's not the only one with secrets. Dig into her foundation. You'll find more than hit runs. His words ignited the next phase. I dove deep. Burner laptop at a library in Tacoma Park. VPN masked like a ghost. Lila's Empower Her nonprofit? A front. Tax filings hidden in plain sight showed kickbacks to politicians. Funds siphoned to offshore accounts. Grandpa's old tricks. Amplified. But buried deeper. Payoffs to silence other accidents. A sorority sister from Vassar. Drowned in a boating mishap after threatening to expose the hit run. A whistleblower in turn. Suicided in her DuPont Circle walk-up. Lila wasn't just complicit. She was the architect. Flipping from victim to viper. Decisions that screamed controversy, save the family image. Damn the collateral. I leaked it piecemeal. Timed for maximum gut punch. First, the foundation fraud to ProPublica. Then, the deaths to a Reddit true crime sub. Chaos erupted. FBI whispers. Gala cancellations. Mom checking into a spa in Sedona for detox. Lila called again. Voice cracked for the first time.
Nova.
Stop.
Please.
I'm scared.
Scared.
The word from her lips was foreign. Intoxicating. But doubt crept in. Was I any better? Exposing her dragged Mom down. Unearthed Grandpa's complicity, the man who'd built our world on lies.
And Reed?
His tip fell off. Too eager. I tailed him after Waffle House. Watched him meet a shady type in a parked Escalade. Cuffs glinting?
No.
A handshake. Cash exchanged. Was he playing me? Flipping sides like Lila? The climax brewed in the July heat.
DC.
Swampy as a betrayal. Lila texted coordinates. The old lake house in Shenandoah. Neutral ground. End this. I drove up in my beat-up Civic. Box in the trunk like Pandora's spare. The house loomed. Sagging porch lights flickering welcome. She waited on the dock. Silhouette against the moon-silvered water. A bottle of wine in one hand, the other clutching what looked like a checkbook. Nova, she said. No preamble. You're right. I was selfish. The money. The lies, it's poisoned us. Her eyes. Wet in the low light. Search mine. Share it. 50-50. We burn the evidence. Start over. Sisters again. The offer dangled. Controversial as hell. Forgive the unforgivable? Erase the past for a future gilded in green? I stepped closer. Heart a war drum. Too late. Lila. Reed's testifying. Feds have the files. Bluff. Mostly, Reed ghosted after the meet, but her flinch confirmed it. She laughed. That nightmare echo. Reed? That cripple's been on my payroll for years. Paid him to stay quiet. Now to stir shit and flush you out. Flip. The ultimate betrayal, she'd weaponized my guilt. Rage crusted. I lunged, not for her throat, but the wine bottle, smashing it on the dock. Shards glittered like accusations. You used him, like you used me. She backed up, heels teetering on planks. Decisions, Nova, hard ones.
For the family.
You think Grandpa was a saint? He covered worse, for Dad's gambling. Mom's pills. The argument spiraled. Voices raw over the lapping water. She accused me of jealousy. I hurled back her sociopathy. Sides blurred, no pure villain. Just two women forged in the same toxic forge. Each decision a gray slash in the moral canvas. Then the shot, not mine this time. A crack from the trilene. Lila crumpling. Red blooming on her shoulder. Not dead, policy. Remember but down.
Gasping.
Reed wheeled from shadows.
Pistol smoking.
Couldn't let her buy me off forever. His eyes on me. Conflicted. Your call now. Kid. Time fractured there on the dock. The world narrowing to the acrid bite of gunpowder and Lila's whimpers mingling with the cricket's dirge. Reed's chair creaked as he lowered the gun. Barrel still warm. His face a map of regrets etched deeper than the Potomac's banks. She flipped on me last week, he rasped. Voice gravel from too many unlit cigarettes. Offered double to frame you, say you orchestrated the leaks for extortion. I took the shot for real this time. I knelt by Lila, pressing my scarf to her shoulder, blood seeping warm and insistent. Her eyes fluttered, locking on mine, not hate, but a mirror of my own fracture.
Nova.
Help. The plea twisted something primal. The little sister I'd bandaged after playground falls. Now bleeding out her empire. Sirens wailed distant. Closing in, someone at the house must have heard. Reed glanced back, calculating escape. Cops'll spin this bad. For both of us. He was right. The scene screamed setup. Heiress shot by vengeful sister and her hit-run victim accomplice. I'd be the monster. Lila the martyr. 20 mil funding her rehab narrative on Dateline. But as I cradled her, the box's weight echoed in my mind, Grandpa's final play, forcing the confrontation. Why now? I demanded of Reed, as Lila's breath shallowed. He wheeled closer, rain starting to patter on the lake like hesitant applause. Found out about the others. That in turn, Lila pushed her, argued over the cover-up. Made it look like a jumper. Sorority girl? Drowned her in the boathouse after a party fight. Witnessed Lila bragging about the hit run. His words landed like indictments, each one a flip in Lila's ledger. Victim to perpetrator. Sister to executioner. Controversial? Hell yes. Did desperation justify murder? Or was it just the Hale way? Decisions doled like poker chips in a game rigged from birth. Lila stirred, coughing crimson mist.
Lies.
All to get the money, but her eyes darted, betraying the schemer. I saw it then, the full twist, the one Grandpa buried deepest. In the frenzy, her hand fumbled to her pocket, pulling a crumpled letter, Evelyn Crow's. The same as mine, but annotated in Grandpa's red ink. Lila knew. Plan the hit run to test loyalty. Punish her, or join her.
Test.
The word detonated. All of it, a childhood crucible, forging us in fire and falsehood. Grandpa hadn't covered for love. He'd orchestrated the lie to bind us. A twisted loyalty experiment.
Me?
The dutiful pawn, Lila. The ambitious queen.
And Reed?
Just collateral. Silenced until he wasn't. Sirens crescendoed. Reed bolted, chair vanishing into the underbrush, leaving me with Lila's fading pulse and a choice that split souls. Save her. Condemn myself. Let her fade. Become the avenger history vilifies. I chose wrong or right, depending on your lens. Hoisted her limp form, staggering to my car, tires spinning gravel as I raced for the county hospital in Front Royal. Hang on, sis, I muttered, her head lolling against my shoulder. Not done fighting yet. The ER was a blur, docs swarming. Questions barked. Cops circling like vultures. I spun a tale. Intruder at the lake house. He shot her.
Fled.
I chased him off. Partial truth. Enough to buy time. They stabilized her through and through. No vitals hit, while I paced the hall. Mom's frantic calls lighting my burner. Nova? The news, Lila shot? Oh God. Is it you?
No. Mom.
Random. Line number. I'd lost count. But as dawn bled pink over the Blue Ridge, Reed texted coordinates, a motel off Skyline Drive. We talk. Or I talk to feds. The Pine Top Inn was a roach motel fever dream. Neon vacancy buzzing like a migraine. Rooms rented by the hour to truckers and tourists dodging divorce papers. Reed waited in 12. Chair by the window overlooking mist-shrouded valleys. A six-pack sweating on the dresser. You saved her, he said. No accusation. Just fact.
Why?
I slumped on the bed. Springs groaning. Family. The word tasted ash. What now? You testify. It all crumbles, her.
Me?
Grandpa's ghost. He cracked a beer. Foam spilling like surrender. Crumbles?
Good.
But there's more. He handed over a folder. Pilfered docs from Lila's foundation safe, cracked by a hacker buddy. He claimed. Inside, my name. Forged emails from Nova greenlighting the intern's suicide, bank transfers to my account from shell companies. She's been framing you for years. Backup plan. In case the hit run blew. Flip again. Lila. Ever the chess master. Positioning me as the fall guy. Decisions that blurred lines, premeditated paranoia or survival instinct in a snake pit. I scan the pages. Nausea rising. My signature. My IP traces, undeniable. Unless dissected. She's turning me into the monster. Reed nodded. Eyes weary. Always was her style. But I got proof it's fake, timestamps doctored. Alibis for you. He paused, chair creaking as he leaned in. We expose her clean. I testify. You provide the box. Feds nail the fraud. The murders. You walk, hero. Maybe.
Hero.
The word chafed. Controversial as a plea deal in a cop show. Save the victims. Bury the family? Or cut a side deal. Let Lila skate with a slap on the wrist. Preserve the illusion? Doubt nod. Reed's motel meet felt staged. His hacker buddy too convenient. I pocketed the folder. Promised nothing. Give me 24. Back in D.C. The storm hit peak. Media frenzy. Hale sisters at war. Talking heads on CNN debating toxic family dynamics in elite America. Protests swelled outside the estate, justice for victims clashing with innocent until proven. Signs waving like battle flags. Mom emerged from Sedona, gaunt and glassy-eyed, granting interviews. My girls are victims of lies. Pray for unity. Unity. As if. Lila, bandaged in her hospital bed, requested me via proxy, a nurse with a whisper. She says forgive, or lose everything. I went, stealing for the flip. She looked small under the sheets, for dripping like tears. The 20 mil irrelevant now. Nova, she breathed. It was a test. Grandpa's game. He told me to push you, see if you'd break. Her hand reached.
Frail.
We both passed. Share the fortune. End it. The lie shimmered. Half-truth woven with venom. I saw the calculation play broken. Lure me in, then leak the forgeries. Past. I echoed. Voice steel. By killing? Framing. She blinked. Innocent. Desperate times. You would have done same for family. The room spun. Moral compass haywire. Was she right? In this American grind, where success devours the weak, hadn't I covered?
Leet.
Shot to protect the Hale name? No clear right. Just shades of survival. Decisions that'd spark bar fights and Reddit wars. Villain or victim. I left without answering. Drove to the estate under cover of night. The box waited in the study. Letters fanned like a bad hand. I burned them in the fireplace. Flames devouring secrets. But copied the USB to the cloud insurance. Then, the call to read. We're doing it. Full expose. But as I hung up, my phone buzzed, unknown number. Mom's voice. Hysterical. Nova. Lila's gone. Slipped security. Said something about fixing the test.
Gone.
The flip I dreaded. Lila, scheming still, vanished into the ether with what? The remaining files? A gun? The chase reignited. Tension coiling like a spring in a .45. Lila's disappearance cracked the case wide. Feds swarming the estate like ants on a picnic. hauling boxes of ledgers and laptops while Mom dissolved into Valium vapors on the sunroom chaise. She wouldn't run, she wailed to Anderson Cooper, who lapped it up for prime time. My Lila's a fighter. Fighter. Yeah, fighting to rewrite history one forged email at a time. I played the concerned sister, feeding tips to the task force. Check her Cayman accounts. The lake house safe. But inside, the vine twisted tighter. Had I pushed her to bolt? My leaks. My refusal to fold. Controversy brewed in every headline. Heiress on the lam. Victim or vixen? Read went underground. Text cryptic. She's circling. Watch your six. I did. Paranoia, my new cologne. Sleeping with a .38 under my pillow, the one Grandpa gifted for City Snakes. DC. Felt hostile. Every corner a potential ambush. Baristas in my coffee spot eyeing me like suspects. Ubers canceling mid-ride. The podcaster followed up. Episode 2 dropping bombs. Interviews with the sorority girl's brother. Tears streaming. Lila laughed it off. Said accidents happen to trash. Public split. Half bayed for blood. Half decried cancel culture witch hunt. Then, the breadcrumb. A postcard from Atlantic City. That gaudy Jersey Shore hellhole where Dad lost his shirt before bolting. Script like Lila's. One last test. Boardwalk. Midnight. Come alone. Trap? Redemption? The kind of decision that keeps therapists in business. I went. Wired for sound. Reed's idea. A cheap recorder in my bra, heart pounding to the rhythm of slot machines and drunk laughs echoing off the steel pier. The boardwalk was a neon fever. Salt air thick with fried dough and regret. Families oblivious to the drama unfolding in shadows. Lila waited by the rail. Wind whipping her hair. A trench coat hiding bandages. Eyes wild as a cornered fox. Nova. No warmth. Just urgency. You came. Family, I said, echoing ghosts. The recorder word soft. What's the play? Turn yourself in? Or more flips? She laughed. That echo. But cracked now. No more games. The money's gone, transferred to dummies. Feds will seize it. But the real legacy? The secrets. She pulled a drive from her pocket. Twin to Grandpa's. Everything. The full truth, not just my sins. Yours. Mine? Bullshit. But she dangled it. Bait on a hook. You framed me. The forgeries. To protect us, she cut in, voice rising over waves crashing below. Grandpa's will? A ruse. He left it all to you. Nova. The box was the key, unlocks a codicil in the bank vault. 20 mil.
Plus.
But only if you forgive. Blood binds. Not breaks, he wrote. Twist like a gut punch. All this, the betrayal, the chase, for a poison chalice? I snatched the drive. But she held fast. There's proof on here. You knew about the intern, overheard. Did nothing. Complicit.
Sis.
We're the same.
Same.
The word hung, forcing the mirror, my silence, my covers, my shot in the foot. No saints here. Just sinners in Chanel and thrift tees. Decisions stacking like Jenga, pull one, the tower sways. Readers argue till dawn. Was forgiveness absolution? Or enabling? Revenge justice? Or cycle? Reed's text buzzed. Got her location. Feds en route. Your call. I glanced back. Lights flashing distant.
Closing.
Lila saw.
Panicked.
Choose. Us or them. I chose the split. Smashed the drive on the rail. Shards tumbling to the surf. No more tests. Then, yelled into the night. Over here. Police. Lila bolted. Coat flapping. But tripped on bandages. Sprawling as uniforms swarmed. The arrest was textbook, cuffs clicking. Miranda rights droning. Her eyes on me. Betrayal. Not hate. You flipped too, she whispered. Worst of all, back in D.C. The trial was a circus. 3 months of Beltway bandwidth. Lila's defense. Diminished capacity. Grandpa's experiments as abuse. Prosecution. Cold-blooded schemer. Murders premeditated. I testified, truth serum in my veins, detailing the box. The lies. My complicity. She carried sins too, I said, voice steady. We all did. Jury split hairs. Controversial verdict. Guilty on fraud. Manslaughter for the intern, suicide ruled assisted. But acquittal on the sorority. Insufficient evidence. 10 years. No parole. The 20 mil? Frozen. Then thawed to victims' funds, Reed's family first. Then others. Mom sold the estate. Vanished to a condo in Florida with a prayer group.
Reed?
Found peace. Or so his letter said, starting a victims' advocacy in Baltimore. Thanks for the nudge.
Me?
The codicil unlocked, a trust. Modest 5 mil. Enough for a quiet life in Asheville. Mountains to climb instead of bodies to bury. But the twist lingers. The one that sparks debates over beers or Thanksgiving tables. In forgiving, not fully. But enough to testify, I saved her from worse. Or doomed us both to half-lives. Ending happy? Tragic? Depends on your lens.
Me?
I like to think it's American as hell. Messy. Unapologetic. A sealed box waiting for the next fool to crack it open. Fate changed.
All right.
But whose?